All right. So said, so saying I'm live. Let's check on my phone and send a message out that I'm live. Let's do this first. I know nobody's here yet, but anybody potentially watching later on, hello. Hang on. So again, the idea is that I am wanting to just sort of start streaming on a semi-regular basis, and you know, just to do stuff. Let's see. That says I'm live now. So we got stuff. I'm live. Let's see. That says I'm live now. So we got stuff. Okay, I'm live. All right. So actually, now let's send the link. Hang on. Copy and send it to Instagram. Hello, everybody. I'm live streaming on YouTube. If you're interested and if you want to chat or just hang out or whatever for half an hour or so, or longer, depending. I've got the link in the comments next door. So yeah, come and say hey, whatever. If you're interested, if you want to chat or just hang. Yeah, this is the exciting part. Okay. All right. So I've shared that. There we go. So, you know, people. There it goes. If you're interested, if you want to chat. Yeah. Anyway, so no. Why is it doing that? Come on. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. Just the setup, making sure I'm live. Anyway, so how's everybody doing? If anybody's there, like I said, if you view it later, what's going on? Like I said, I'm trying to expand my horizons for the new year, so that my life isn't just about work. Potentially, I hope things on that score change as far as the nature of it, and or not the nature of it, but you know, just the circumstances that surround it and that inform it, and which inform my life. Sometimes to the detriment of getting burned out and all that kind of shit. I'm tired of that. So anyway, so again, yeah, the idea is that I do this semi-regularly if possible. You know, I suppose it's easier since I've been on vacation since the 18th for the holidays. I hope other people that are taking some time off are finding some respite, a little bit of rest from this shit show of a year. But you know, there's only there's 3 more days of this year, so I'm counting them down for sure. So, you know, yeah, I just, you know, I'm very excited to put this year behind me. That said, I mean, you know, if I look at certain things that were positive, somehow I got through it, and a lot of us got through it. On the other end of that, I also produced a record that we just finished. Not live yet. It's not available per se yet. Hope that'll be closer to January and February. But the production of the record and all the pieces and the full album itself production is done. as of I'm knocking wood, is done. So as of today, and I somehow pulled a B minus out of my ass as far as a writing course I was taking through school. Um, looking back on it this year, it was really stupid of me to even try to do a course because of the nature of this. I mean, I didn't know the nature of this year was going to be what it was, I suppose, but there was just no way. Trying to juggle all that and everything else that was going on was just stupid. It was just such a stressor. And truthfully, so long story short, pulled an incomplete out, and then within the last 3 to 4 weeks before the grades were due, I basically did what I could and pushed through it, and somehow got a B minus. So I'll take that. But the amount of stress involved, so not worth it. So going forward, I think unless things somehow change at work as far as the nature of the time involved and the way the time is taken, classes are just not in the foreseeable future at this point. They're just not. I own a house now, and I'm dealing with all that. And taxes go up, so I'm trying to mitigate money stuff. And I don't have a partner. I have a cat. I don't have anybody at home cooking dinner or covering for me because I got to go study for 5 hours or some shit like that. And I'm on my own. I don't have a family here, so I'm it. And trying to have a job where I'm working upwards of 10 hours a day for 4 days, 4 to 5 days a week, plus overtime potentially, and then trying to maintain the house and do the shopping, make sure the cat's all set, as and he's getting older, so it's a little more difficult. Making sure I'm trying to stay healthy, which is fucking impossible as well. But also, and then taking classes and trying to, dude, it's just not in the, oh, and also having my side sound business and, and trying to be creative. That's the biggest thing that's gone by the wayside. I was like, fuck, I haven't picked up a guitar in God knows months. I can't remember the last time I actually wrote a fucking song. Just my creative juices get just drained by work. And I'm kind of tired of it, truthfully. It's kind of good to when I have a number of consecutive days off like this, and it kind of gives me just enough of a boost, and the rest I'm looking for and have looked for and all that, and just realizing how freaking barren my creative life has been. I mean, again, producing an album has its creative elements, but it's more of a technical challenge than it is a creative one on some levels. So yeah, there's creativity involved in it, but it's not my album. The production stuff that I do on it, yeah, okay, some of those were my decisions, but in the end, it's not my decision. It's the client's decision about what they want and how they want it to sound and all that. So I need to get back and work on something that is all me, my own decisions. I put up what I want and put up what I like. And it's been, really the last new album that I put together was not even taken orally because that was 20 years old when I finished it back in 2008. And that's already 10 years ago. The last new album I really made was 2001. Do that math. That was just before I had my surgeries on my hands, Again, I finished the Taken Orally project, and I finished another project at the time, and but there's still a whole other album that was recorded pretty much in somewhat demo form that I wanted to finish and put out. So I got plenty to freaking do. I just got to do it, So that's where I'm at with that. I had this grand idea that I would take the 18 consecutive days that I had and try and work on this project. Obviously, with the holidays as they are, between baking banana breads and going to parties and visiting with people and stuff like that. Those are the holiday things that you do. So that kind of takes up a lot of the day, for obvious reasons. So I'm hoping to, you know, maybe starting tomorrow, hopefully, even just to kind of sit down for reals and start the process for this new project. And the project again is it's an imaginative narrative from a number of cover songs in a specific order. And was thinking today that I might even write a story as part of it, like a script, or like a, as if it was a film treatment or something like that, and call it a soundtrack. Since a film in that regard would use potential cover songs or whatever. And the storyline is, it's not anything horribly original as far as the uh, I don't know, the sort of the start, middle, and end to it. It's a kind of a perennial, you know love, lack of love story kind of thing, and what happens to somebody who, basically it's along the themes that I've done pretty much on almost every single one of my records, which is unrequited love and what it does to a person. I mean, as I've gotten older, I realized that a lot of that is horrible bullshit on my part. There's things you learn as you get older that, a lot of that is just all shit you learn from movies, or, it's not reality, obviously, but that being said, again, this was a project that originally was concocted back in like 1988 or 9 or something like that. And the idea was, again, a number of cover songs from the 60s that I liked, put them in a specific order. And then I promptly forgot about it for, 20, yeah, it's been 20 years. No, wait, 30 years, right? 88, right? That's 30 years. That's crazy. But I still liked the idea, and I still liked the songs. I thought, that'd be fun to do. It's just a fun project for me to fart around with. I don't have any deadlines. I can just mess around and get back to some drumming and some playing and singing and stuff like that. Just the stuff that I kind of like to do. I just don't get enough time to do it. But I also potentially have some other projects I'm hoping to look at, some as far as producing some other folks. I've got to look further into that. There may be some additional things I do with Steve Job, who's the album I just finished. And the album is called Where the Fish Are. And it's basically 23 pieces that are sort of put together in mostly diptych and or triptych form. There's a couple of the pieces are on their own, but you'd have to look at the liner notes to get a sense of how they're ordered. By the way, I apologize for the backdrop of I had to clear stuff out of my closet for a visit by the Rise folks to look at my ceiling and insulation stuff. So all the things that were in the closet are now in the room. Yes, they are. I don't know, so anyway. When did I start this? I started this about... When did I start this? I forget. Anyway, I've been live. I've been live for about closing on 14 minutes. So, like I said, I'll probably just go another 15 unless someone shows up and wants to chat. Or if it's the kind of thing, again, like if it's a timing thing, let me know if you're interested. If different times are potentially better. My thinking on this is that, like, I know I'm not alone, but I know that there are folks that don't necessarily go to bars like I do or don't anymore. Though I miss that, but I just as soon not be out and about on a Saturday night, especially in the middle of the holiday season with fools and idiots on the road. I don't want to be a statistic for this fucking year. That's for sure. Fucking awkward. So it's there's people that I would love to visit. It's just I would have to figure out a different time to do it. Night is just not a good time for me in that regard. Unless I'm working as part of being in the bar, or if I'm with lots of other people as part of a dinner or something like that. That's one thing, but I'm not going to go to a bar on my own and you know and sit there and what and basically nurse a cranberry juice and seltzer. It's like come on, man. It's about as pathetic as it gets. You know, though I suppose drinking solo at a bar is more pathetic. But again, that's sort of over judgmental. It's just pathetic for me because it's something I did all too often. Anyway, but that's drinking. um, Otherwise, what's going on with everybody else? Hopefully, everybody's having a good holiday season. Um, as I've said at the last stream, and I'll probably say through this particular, stream. This may be the last stream of this year. If I start another stream on the weekend of next, the next weekend, which would be after the first, we'll see. But I don't know. I'm also very seriously so like for New Year's Eve. It's like it's another time of year where I'm either unless I'm invited somewhere, I don't go looking for shit to do. Truthfully, it's like if I'm home, I'd just as soon be home. You know, it turns midnight, I go to sleep. you know, unless I'm invited somewhere to hang for the night or something. But um, you know, it's just another year. I mean, I suppose there's more at stake this time with this coming year on a number of levels. One thing I'm wanting to try to do is I need to just looking at and not just because I'm overweight, but just because also that what I eat is also potentially adding to my various levels of anxiety and inflammation, which creates anxiety and my blood pressure and blah, 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 blah. Learning what foods are inflammatory and which ones are anti-inflammatory. And, trying to wean myself off of the bad stuff, or at least minimize that stuff. So like today, I bought a pot of not a pot, but a little thing of blueberries, because apparently blueberries are like fucking magical as far as antioxidants goes. So between that and yogurt and other stuff, it's like I'm going to try and be a little more fastidious about what I'm eating on a day to day. At least each day try to eat a large portion of things that are not going to inflame my head and my brain and make my anxiety and panic attacks worse. They certainly don't need any help in much the same way that alcohol fed that shit too. So, I don't know. Is this me growing up? I think I'm just tired of having to deal with this shit. I would rather be of some semblance of my senses with this new year coming up, because there's some challenges coming up, probably at work. There's some challenges again with taking care of the house and everything that comes with that, and again wanting to be more creative in general. I'm just sort of I need to get back into, because that's not helping either. I think it's part of it. It's like I need to get this creative stuff out. It's just sort of festering when I can't do stuff. So like past year, I was able to do a couple of gigs with Mark Carter, with Silhouette Opera Company, doing the cover stuff. So that was fun. I definitely would like to do more of that. And those were both opening for the Dave Tessier's All Star Stars. Also got to sing with them, with Mark, sort of in a Flo and Eddie kind of thing, and that was a lot of fun. I'd love to do that again. Again, and that's part of it too. It's like David originally invited me to be in that band, and it kills me that I had to say no, because it's right the fuck up my alley. And but because of work, I don't have a choice. I have to work. I needed, well, for what good it does me. It's like, because I need health insurance. What good is that at this point? I still don't use it because I can't afford the deductibles, and it's hard to afford the co-pays. It's ridiculous. But I need it for medications, and so blah 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 blah. All that said, it just comes down to like, until something changes where I either have another situation happening within the job that presents more money, less hours, as it should be, considering the work we do, or a completely different thing. I'm open to anything at this point because I can't. The way things have gone is not sustainable in the long term. Not to remain either sane or in some semblance of physical health. Um, I'm sure I'm not alone. Obviously, the current climate in this country is such where you know we're all sort of on tenterhooks. Just like, God forbid something happens, accidents, physical or health issue or whatever, and if that happens, it's game over. So for me, it's like, well, all right, I've pushed to the envelope long enough, clearly, and I need to stop pushing it because God knows I'll push myself right over the edge. But you know, like I said, I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So like I said, if you're interested in chatting about that shit, um, uh, I don't know. Just I'm just putting it out there. Like I said, for anybody who is into potentially doing this kind of thing. Um, or just kind of creating a little online, you know, chat room or whatever, where we can just commiserate a little bit about this, that, and the other. I think most people who know me know my politics, and they know my likes, dislikes, and all that. I think I've been pretty vociferous about it, especially on Facebook. I'm still currently in Facebook jail for, I mean, just the stupidest of reasons. And then Twitter, I think I said this before, that Twitter just completely banned me for, again, stupid reasons. So, just as well. I don't need to be on that stuff. I was on it too often and too long sometimes. So right now I'm just on YouTube here and on Instagram, where I try to keep the Instagram stuff sort of politics free for the most part. Every once in a while I'll post something, but for the most part it's about music, cat videos, food, stupid shit, weird shit, that kind of stuff. So, but the YouTube, the stream, the live stream, assuming, and I'm not really even looking at this as a monetary thing, considering YouTube is, I don't know what they're doing either. It's like, they become this other typically corporate, let's stop giving people money. Let's make all these rules so that video talent or YouTube talent have a harder time, conducting a living on this platform. It's I watch the stuff, and there are certain people that I follow and watch, and it's like they're having a lot of trouble all of a sudden with these arbitrary algorithm-driven rules. It's ridiculous. It's like, why don't you actually hire people to police this stuff in lieu of I don't know, just is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe they just can't. Maybe there's just not enough people. I don't know. However, some of the rules are stupid. So I'm just throwing that out there. So God knows, we may get to the YouTube higher ups. It's like, oh, put him on a list. Make sure he can't live stream. We'll see. Whatever. Hey, worst comes to worst, I'll run for office. Wouldn't that be fun? Huh? Yeah, that would be fun. Well, considering I have no money, I would have to have somebody basically funding that nonsense. But it would be interesting. It would be interesting to try as an experiment to see if just putting it out there would be something that could, just basically selling my big mouth is what it comes down to. Anyway, so we're at 24 minutes and change, so another 6 minutes on my own here. Again, I'll potentially assume if someone there was like 12 views on my last stream, so maybe I'll assume that there's a few more a few more viewers after the fact, which would be cool. Comment down below. I the comments are live, so if you're not live with me, that's fine. Comment later, for good or bad. If it's bad and stupid, I won't put it up, just so you're aware. My live chat, my rules. Yeah, sort of a benevolent dictatorship. You know how it goes. Anyway, so I don't know. Other than that, not much going on, apart from everything going on. Um, let's see. I don't think there's anything else happening. I forget all the other things I potentially talked about in that last stream. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, see, so it's after 11 o'clock, man. This is what I'm talking about. It's like I start getting tired, But I don't know. So potentially, if I stop eating, so here's the thing: I don't eat. I don't like, eat ridiculously horribly. It's just that sometimes what I eat is enough to be horrible enough, I guess. And as I've gotten older, I've just gotten that much more sensitive to things like definitely sugar, but things like dairy, uh, peanut, like peanut butter and peanut based kinds of things. Obviously spicy things, and I love spicy food, but I just have to. It's just like it's killing me. Otherwise, it's like so. This kind of gotten to critical mass, so I've really got to pull back on that stuff. Yeah, and maybe hopefully that'll give me more energy, or at least give me more energy for more often. Oh, hey, boy, use that boy. Oh, cool. Oh, gosh. This guy likes to cuddle. Oh, he likes to cuddle. Yes, he does. Don't you? Don't you like to cuddle? He's happy I'm home for sure. Do you have anything to say? Hmm? No, he has nothing to say. He just wants to cuddle and purr. You can cuddle and purr. Little boy. Little boy. All right, sorry. Cat's here. I start acting stupid. So. But anyway, this guy's doing pretty good. Oh, because I'm tight, dude. You date. This one is, he's, I keep forgetting how old he is. I think he's, so was it 2006? So what is that? 13. He's like 13 years old, something like that. 13. Is that right? Are you 13? Yeah, I think that's right. But he's doing good. But he's not a spring chicken in kitty years for sure. Though he does still chase his tail. So if you want to hear a freaky story, and I actually caught this on video, I should actually post the video up here on YouTube at some point. Maybe what I could do is I could edit it into this and show you everybody. But so it would have been, let's see, it was Christmas Eve. That's right, it was Christmas Eve. That's right. I'm just trying to remember here. So Christmas Eve, I am at home, just hanging at home as I usually do, and I'm wrapping gifts. And I'm watching English panel shows. I think it was QI I was watching or something like that. And I had pulled the coffee table close to the chair so I could just kind of watch TV and wrap the stuff and have some eggnog, just kind of chilling out with this guy. And there was the last Christmas I had bought like a light up ball, a cat toy. And basically, like cat bats the toy and it lights up. So it has like little multicolored lights in it. So but you have to bat it and it has to be moving to work, right? I didn't even think the thing worked anymore, truthfully. And I hadn't even seen it around in a while. But I had seen both this one and Buddy, who I lost again in March, playing with it. I think both of them batted it. I mean, less so Buddy. He wasn't really much into playing at that point. But anyway, so as I had pulled the coffee table forward, I noticed that the ball was sort of in the middle of the rug, right? And but I just noticed it, whatever. And then suddenly it lights up. It just does. The lights but it's not moving. And the only way the thing is supposed to work is if the thing is moving. That's what prompts the lights to go off. So the thing starts to light up, and I go, and the first thing I thought, Buddy's here, because I've also felt Buddy here. I feel like I've seen a cat jump off the bed, and it's not this one. This one was outside. Another situation where, look, you want to get down. You want to get down. There was another situation where I come home from work. This one is outside, because he'd been inside all day. He goes outside. I was going into another room, and suddenly I hear this sort of, which is a sound that Buddy used to make when he would like either wake up or if he was, whatever. It was loud, and I went to check to see he was still outside, and he was. And it's just like I had to text a friend of mine to just get it sort of, just like this happened. Anyway, long story short, I've always felt that Buddy's sort of still around. There have been a couple of situations where he's come into my dreams in very lucid dreams where I'm able to pick him up, and I'm aware that he's visiting, and I can pick him up and actually feel him. I can feel his fur. It's that vivid. Anyway, so long story short, back to Christmas Eve. So the ball lights up, and the first thing I thought of was Buddy's here, because the lights are very Christmassy. They're very Christmassy types of colors. When he passed away, I had still had the Christmas lights up from last year around one of my windows, and I had sort of just left them on when he passed away. At that point, I just kind of, the whole Rainbow Bridge thing, leaving the lights on and hoping that would send him on his way and everything was cool, etc., and he'd let me know. That's a whole other thing where about a week to 2 weeks or something like that after he passed away, at one point the lights just stopped working. And they were newish lights, and nothing had changed, nothing had happened, and nothing burned out that I could tell. It just stopped working. So to me, it was just sort of like that's him saying to me, "I'm fine. You can take the lights down now." I said, "All right, cool," which I did. Okay, back to Christmas Eve. Ball lights up. I say, Buddy, are you here? So I start to talk to it to see what would happen. So, Buddy, are you here? And it lights up as if it was answering me, right? So I first try to get it. So I was able to get a still photo of it lighting up, but I had to get video. So sure enough, I put the phone on it and I try to videotape it and try to talk to it. And as these things go, of course, nothing happens. Then so I turn it off, and then sure enough it starts up again, and then I turn it back on, and this time I caught it, and I just felt like he was kind of saying, "Hey, Merry Christmas, I'm still here," or he just wanted to kind of reassemble himself as best as he could, and which is kind of how I feel these things happen, especially with dreams. It's like the entity that was Buddy, reassembled himself and just sort of said, just wanting to say, "Hey, how you doing?" And then went off on his merry way, whatever. So that was pretty cool. Those are the kinds of things that kind of remind me of that. There are stranger things, and or the sky and earth, or whatever the fuck the quote is. but if there's a more scientific explanation for it, whatever. I'm sure there is. Maybe there is. I don't care. There are some things that happen that it just you can't explain. Again, I'm not a God person. I'm not a religious person. However, I believe in whatever energy. What I do believe in is that we are all energy, and that whatever it is, we are energy inhabiting these weird biological creatures, and and that's pretty much it. When we pass away, the energy goes somewhere else. That's all. So that's anyway. I think that's. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I think. Anyway, so anybody you want to fight about it? No, I don't want to fight about it. I don't want to fight about it. So yeah, so funny story. Funny, cool Christmas story. It's a good story to tell. But anyway, yeah. So maybe I'll post that up here on YouTube to see what people think. Um, and see if they if anybody has any other potential explanations for it, because I certainly don't. All right. I've been up here about 35 minutes or so on my own and with the kitty. And oh, it does say that there's 3 people on here. I'm not sure how that works. It's me, and I know I'm checking it. So if there's someone else on here, say hey in the chat thing. Let's see here. It says that there's 3 people here. That's interesting. Buddy, is that you? Let's see if, well, I don't know. Let's see if there's, hang on 1 second. This guy over this way. No, it's saying that there's 3 people here. So wish they would, just say something if they are. If they're not, then okay, there we go. So unless that third person that's YouTube checking my live feed, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it just says 1 watching now here though. So that's weird. I'm not sure what that means. The little says the crowd of people and it says 3. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so maybe there's not that many people. All right, so yeah, I think I'll leave it at there. Like I said, I've been here for 37 minutes. 37 minutes. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. That's stream number 2. I'll do another one at some point. I'll let people know. If you're interested, let me know in the comments or email or whatever. Let me know if there's stuff you want me to talk about or not. Or if you want me to go away, maybe I will. I don't know. Otherwise, I will take my leave. So if I don't see you before the end of the year, which is coming up on Wednesday, please be safe. Please don't do stupid shit. If you're going to be out and partying and all that, just take care of yourself. A lot of us have lost a number of friends this year. It's just been crazy. Not just me, but everybody has lost so many people this year to so many different things. Whether it's, sickness is one thing. There's only so much you can do, but just in your car, in your travels, be fucking just don't be stupid. Don't and listen, if you're feeling suicidal, for the love of God, just just reach out to somebody, to anybody, for the love of God, for whatever reason, just if for no other reason, and there's I don't know. I certainly don't want to judge how people feel about themselves and regarding life and living and or not. Believe me, I've had those thoughts and or feelings myself. However, the thing that I've always gone by, and this came up in therapy for me, is I didn't ask to be here. You know what I mean? However, I choose to stay. And whatever that means. And that means whatever that means. Whatever the trials and tribulations of that's what that means. I did not ask to be here. My parents did whatever the hell they did, and suddenly I was there. Clearly an accident, probably a drunken one. Again, I didn't ask to be here, but however, I'm here and I choose to be here. So choose to be here if you can. Again, I understand the need to potentially be taken away from your pain. I get that for sure. But that said, try to remember, if nothing else, the people you leave behind, and what they then have to deal with And it's not a guilt trip. It's just, it's a grief thing, and we all grieve differently, and grief is a bitch. And it's a selfish thing for sure, but it's, all of it's selfish. Anyway, I could go on and on forever, but about this stuff. But anyway, so Merry Crimble, Happy Christmas, etc., etc. Have a happy, safe New Year. If I don't see you, but I hope to see you out and about or up on the chat at some point. So I'll post this and make some comments, and we'll go from there. But from that point, I am going to go and chill out for a little while and then go to bed. So ta-ta, bye. Ending stream.